My fellow subscribers, I command you to watch this review now! What up y'all, it's the Black Critic Guy, and today I'm here to review my first anime in my new dorm and one of my most highly requested animes, Code Geass, LeLouch of the Rebellion. And I gotta say, I thoroughly enjoyed this anime. It was a fun ride, it was engaging, it was impactful. It was a great anime. So the basic premise of Code Geass is it follows this kid by the name of LeLouch who goes around and challenges noblemen at games of chess just for his entertainment because he's bored. One day after defeating another nobleman, he witnesses a crash and he goes to check to see if anybody's hurt and make sure everyone's okay, and he ends up getting locked inside the car and they drive away with him inside. And after a series of events, he meets a girl by the name of C2 who offers him the power of Geass, which is the power to command people to do whatever you want them to do. And once he gets this power, LeLouch comes up with a brilliant plan to take down the Britannian Empire so he can find out who killed his mother and to create a better world for his sister. Now, so many of you have asked, begged, and pleaded for me to watch and review this anime. In fact, one of the first comments I ever see every time I upload an anime review is, "Review Code Geass. Please review Code Geass." And so in order to appease you guys and to stop the onslaught of comments that have nothing to do with the main subject of the other reviews, I now present my Code Geass review. And some of the bigger names that kept like hamming down like, hey, review Code Geass is Triple X, Six Master Triple X, Geo Mantis, who all he ever says to me is review Code Geass. Never says a single word after that. You got Daybreaker 3065. You got Ben is always watching, Mr. XP Life, and who else was it? Dissident 1. So now you guys can be appeased and you can stop asking me to review this anime, because here it is. Now the first thing that pulled me into this anime was actually its story. I found the story quite compelling and engaging, and I really rooted for the Japanese, or in this case, the 11s. I mean, they're being oppressed by this foreign nation that's taken over 1/3 of the world and being forced to give up their culture, their traditions. I mean, hell, I would fight because I'm never giving up my culture, my tradition for an foreign oppression. I'd rather die. And there's just a plethora of characters in this anime. Too much for me to name here on the spot. I'll run out of time. But they were all well developed. I really felt their emotions. I felt the dilemmas that some of them went through. I understood their past, why they acted the way they did. And the two characters I really want to talk about actually is, of course, LeLouch and his best friend, Suzaku Kururugi. First, let's talk about Suzaku Kururugi. Out of all the characters in the anime, he was the first character I actually related to because he hated the idea of war and violence. He only did war and violence because, you know, he's part of the military and they command him to do it. He has no choice. But it comes down to what will you do to protect your nation. And Suzaku's ideology was that he would sustain from doing war and try to change Britannia from the inside. By getting into the higher ranks, he might actually make a difference from the inside and create a better world where everyone's in peace and not fighting. And I actually rooted for that because, you know, violence really never solves anything. We'd be fighting for years and, you know, there'll still be a group that's very angry or malice towards another group. But if we create peace within, then things can change. And I really rooted for that character to actually change everything from within, you know, instead of just tactfully like forcing opinions on people. Change it within, persuade them to join your team, and that's why I really rooted for Suzaku Kururugi and felt this dilemma when people called him a traitor and, oh, you're with the Britannians, you hate Japan. But he actually loved Japan so much that he wanted to find inner peace between Britannia and Japan. And now we got the king of all kings, LeLouch v Britannia. And I really felt like he is the most well-developed character in this entire anime. LeLouch kind of reminds me of Light Yagami in many ways. They're Bishonen type characters who are very methodical, very precise, use people as pawns, treats things like games, and also hides their true identities from their enemies. So, in a way, I see a lot of parallels between him and Light Yagami. Now, where they differ is that For me, LeLouch is like Light Yagami if Light Yagami had a heart, because LeLouch actually does give a damn. He cares about people. He has a human nature to him, while Light was just all power hungry and had lost his human nature. He was so driven by power that he just lost all human nature or human connection. But LeLouch actually has human emotion. He cares for his sister deeply. He cares for his friends. He loved his mother who was killed and taken away from him, and that's what drives him to make this perfect world. He has so much depth to him, and you really relate to his character and feel the dilemma of the choices that he makes in this anime, which are really tough to make. And I really like the characters' relationships and character chemistry between characters. My favorites are always the ones with LeLouch, like LeLouch and his sister. I really felt a strong bond there. LeLouch with Kururugi, I felt another strong bond there. LeLouch with Colin, I felt another strong bond there. LeLouch with C2, it was just so touching to see these two characters trying to just get to know each other and just make a great development. I thought they handled the development very well. One thing that I really liked that they highlighted a lot in this anime was the effect of the choices that you made in your life. The choices that you make in your life will affect the outcome of your future. And LeLouch makes a lot of tough decisions, tough choices, to the point where it really demoralizes him. And you see that effect of the choices that he makes and the burden that he carries. And also with other characters, the choices that they make will alter how they act or alter the way that they think. So I really liked how the anime really focuses on how choices will affect you in the long run and the outcome of what you will become. And I also loved how they highlighted the brutality and evils of war, how no one is ever truly safe in a war zone. Women, children, men, everyone's in danger, and it's so brutal, and they highlight that very well and they show it. They don't hide anything. They show it to its fullest. And there are deaths of pivotal characters in this anime that really just hit you right here. You feel the turmoils of the characters who are experiencing their loss of a friend. It feels like you just lost a friend after, getting to know them for so long, and then they finally die. It could bring tears to your eyes. I know for me, there were a couple of scenes that actually brought tears to my eyes. I'm like, don't die, please, don't. And then they died, and you feel so distraught. You feel like uneased and angry at it. And if an anime can push you to feel these many emotions, that is a great anime. And the animation and action scenes are handled very well, and I loved how they really didn't focus on the mechas being the main point of the story, and it's mostly on the story and the characters. The mechas are thrown in to add a little pizzazz, just for you to be entertained. And I really liked how they didn't focus too much on the mechas and focus more on characters. That was great. And the last 6 episodes of the entire series it was masterful. They actually had me rethinking my thoughts of this certain character. I was like, no way, why is this person doing this? My God, no, this is wrong. And then the reveal happens, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Wow, they actually had me going there for a second. So, masterful. And lastly, the voice acting is superb in this anime. I can't see anybody else playing a better LeLouch than Johnny Young Bosch, who did a phenomenal job in this anime. He hit it out of the park. I really felt like he embodied the character's voice. He was perfect for this role, and I thought he was awesome. Now this anime would have been perfect in my book if not for one thing that kind of just brought it down for me. Biggest problem I had with this anime is nearing the end, they start hammering this philosophy shit on us. Now don't get me wrong, they did throw in a lot of philosophy in the first season, but the thing is it didn't feel like they were hammering it down. It felt more subtle, like, hey, you gotta live, you gotta fight for yours, stuff, philosophies like that. In the second season, it's just like, above like aristocratic philosophies that wouldn't mean anything to the common folk. Like they start talking about human existence and the realities, and oh my God, it's just like, my head hurts. It just felt so jarring to hear all these characters talking about all this philosophical things that I'm like, I get what you're trying to do, but come on, you don't need to like hammer it down. It's just like beating me over the head with it. And I would make the comparison to like, remember like The Matrix, they had a lot of philosophy, but it wasn't like really hammered down. It's very subtle, but they ask you questions. But in The Matrix Reloaded, they try to act all like, oh, we're fancy now, and we're gonna talk about philosophies and all this stuff, because we are aristocratic, and we're gonna use big words like confligery. That's how I felt, like they were just hammering this philosophy down my throat, and I'm like, okay, I get what you're trying to do, just stop hammering it down on me. I get it. I mean, it just disengages you from the anime. It takes you right out because they're talking all this philosophy stuff. I'm like, okay, I get it now. Just calm down now. But overall, Code Geass, LeLouch of the Rebellion, is a well-crafted and masterful anime with a captivating story, well-developed and emotional characters, and an all-around enjoyable roller coaster ride of an anime. And that's why I'm gonna give this anime a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It is a near perfect anime. But anyway, what did you guys think of this anime? Did you like it a lot, or did you find it boring and repetitive? And let me know, what is your favorite friends rivalry in an anime? There's Goku and Vegeta, there's Naruto and Sasuke, there's LeLouch and Kururugi. So comment below and let me know. Anyway, I'm the Black Critic Guy, bridging the gap between movies and anime reviews. Till then, peace YouTube.